Welcome back to PinkOddBird. Today, I think you can kind of see what I'm here with. I did a private swap with Priscilla, who is ReleaseTheCraftin on YouTube, and we decided to do It's Showtime! A Beetlejuice theme. So, I'm gonna do a little flip through of my book, and I'll link to Priscilla's channel so that way when she gets her book up and ready to go, you can check it out. And in the meantime, you can check out the other stuff she has on her channel. So, let's get started. Okay, I think it's just probably easier to start with the little one first. It's just a little book. I built the cover on this with chipboard, and it's a little 3-signature book. It's the companion to the big book because there's not really much space to write in the big one. So I figured I would give her this, and I think there's like 8 pages and 3 signatures or something like that. So that's like what, 8? I'm not the math person, but there's a lot of blank pages in here for her to write on. Okay, so I think the art side takes over in my brain versus the math side. So most of these are just plain coffee stained pages, and she does like to journal, so I thought this would be cute to give her as a little companion to the big one. And some of it is scrap papers. As you can see, there's some tsunami rose there. And then some other like little scraps. And then I just made pockets out of some of the pages. Some weird pockets. But the reason why there's weird pockets in weird places is because they're scraps. And it's meant to just cover up like, you know, weird stuff. For example, like here, that's a pocket. So, yeah, so just a little plain booklet for her to journal in. The handbook for the recently deceased. And now for the star of the show, we have Beetlejuice. I wanted to find this kind of fabric. Well, I was actually looking for like a flannel shirt, but when I went into the store where I go, the first thing that I saw on the shelf was this print, and I'm fine with it also because I don't know if you remember, but in the movie, Adam and Beetlejuice are both wearing this shirt in a scene. And then at the end, Lydia has a skirt with this also. So yeah, this fabric was absolutely perfect. And then I have this little plate that I've been saving for like 2 years. It's unfiltered Beetlejuice. And then on the edges of it, it was all white, and I was gonna black it all out with the marker, but I decided to do, like you can see, little stripes to make it more like Beetlejuice. So that's the cover. And then I just have little ribbon closure. Okay, so there's 3 signatures, and I have no idea how many pages. I think there's 10 pages in each signature. So there you go. At the very front here, I have this little window that I got from Rita, and actually it's an idea that Rita does in her books, but she has this little die cut thing, and it's a window. And so I was gonna put the picture of the Maitlands in here because Lydia's taking pictures, which is why I have the camera, and that's when she looks up at the window and sees them there. But I left it plain in case Priscilla might want to put her own picture in there. I'll get that back in. And then I don't know if you remember, but I think his name is James Dietz, Lydia's dad. He was a bird watcher, so I put this little picture of some birds in and backed it on coffee stained paper. And then he also liked to read the newspaper a lot. So I have found this vintage newspaper clipping. It's from the 50s in my stash, and it's actually It actually talks about a game that I guess kids used to play back in the day, and it was like holding their breath underwater and talking about the perils and dangers of that kind of game. And I thought it would be kind of neat to have this in because it's a newspaper article and it talks about drowning, which is how the Maitlands die in the movie. Spoiler. There's a little tag in here. And then I put the bird feather stamp again because bird watcher. And then on this page, I have some film strip here because Lydia is like a photographer, I guess you could say. And then I have a picture of Lydia here, and it says, "I myself am strange and unusual." And I typed out those quotes on Rita's typewriter. Thanks, Rita. So I have some little Beetlejuice there. And then I picked the brick paper because I don't know if you remember in the movie, anytime they were by the brick wall, they would have the green glow. And so I found this piece of green vellum, and then I just put it with some coffee stain paper so she can write there. And then up at the top here, I have a little piece of scarf that Rita gave me. So of course, as you know, in the movie, they have to draw a door and then knock 3 times. So I used my gesso to draw the door so it'd have that chalky kind of feel, because that's what Adam draws the door with, is chalk. There's the bridge. Doily from Shayna. I put the measuring tape in because it reminds me of 6 foot, 7 foot. So I put that in. And then I was telling Jerry Ann the other day, she made some super cute ghost tags. Well, I had made some too, but hers are a trillion zillion times better. But I made these 2 little ghost tags out of some old curtain, and then I just have cut out some little black tags in wonky shapes below, and then cut out eyes because the Maitlands tried to put on their sheets to scare the Dietzes out of the house. And then here, I think you might have seen this tutorial already. Maybe if you haven't, I'll link it below. But this is the potucelope version 2.0. And in here, the paper clip is holding it closed, but there's a little writing stack of paper that I put in there. I'm not going to take it out right now because it takes me a minute to do. And you can see it in the video. So I chose the zebra because at the scene where they're having dinner, they're using zebra napkins. So that's why you'll see the zebra prints in here. I got the file folder from Rita and this little card from Rita. And Dolly was giving me the idea to use the little folders. This one says Barbara because I don't know if you guys remember, but in the movie there's like an office with lots of papers. So she's like, yeah, that would be cute. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I just have some little tags that I cut, and then here I just have some cardstock that I cut in the shape of sort of Lydia's bangs and made it a tuck spot. Come on, there we go. So here's some vellum, and then on the inside I have fabric, zebra fabric, so it's a pocket. And then this is like one of my favorite pages ever. So I don't know if you guys remember, but in the movie they have the room for lost souls. And so this is the room for lost souls. So what I did was I took the images and I backed those images on the fabric. And then again, I had this piece of green vellum. So I put the vellum over the images so it would have that green glow like they have when they stop and talk to the janitor in the hallway and they look in and he pulls down the shade. So on the back of this page there's also another pocket with some more of that fabric. Music paper because you know, music is one of the things that's prominent in this movie. Some poems that I just picked that I thought would go, and then I have this fabric that I got from Kim. It's zebra, and like I said, they're using zebra napkins at dinner, so I made napkins, and Kim gave me that idea. She's like, make some napkins, and I was like, okay. So I made some napkins, and they're journaling cards, so they have coffee stain paper on them. Another little die cut from Kim, and there's the man himself, Beetlejuice. I got this from Kim also. I scanned it so that I could keep the original, but it's a little cemetery. And this bag is from JUNKTHATTREASURES. I got this tag from Dolly in my Halloween Happy Mail, but I backed it with some red cardstock, and I love these tags. And I also got this from Dolly, and they're little spiders, but I was like, you can pretend they're beetles, but it's also a tuck spot, so this something can go there. So here I traced out my hand again, kind of like I did for Thing in Morticia, and I added some little eyes to the hand because of this. And it's just backed with coffee stained paper. So here's Beetlejuice's little advertisement, again, backed on coffee paper. I chose this bag because it kind of reminded me of Barbara's dress. I don't know if you remember her dress. And then I got these tags from Rita. I just sewed on them and added some trim. And obviously I was inspired on my tags from Kim and Dolly because they make amazing tags. But I tried. So I have some, and Shayna too actually, trim that I put on here, and just some other little bits that Rita cut out for me when I was visiting with her. Camera for Lydia. Another quote, "Is death a problem and not the solution?" And that's from Beetlejuice's little advertisement. That's the end of the first signature. I have some music ribbon in the center. I chose this paper because it kind of reminded me of the wallpaper in their house. I got this little map here from Dolly. I just put it in because Adam has a little model house town, and I thought maybe I got this from Dolly, and she's like, yeah, you can put in a little map, and it'd be like their little model house town. And I was like, that's a good idea. Another die cut from Rita here. Another potucelope version 2.0 that you can see on my channel. So here I have a sandworm that I just fussy cut. And then here's some more of that scarf from Rita. And then I have this little ghost that I got at Joann's, and it's a magnet. And it says paint me on it, and I was going to paint it, but then I was like, no, I'll let Priscilla do it. That's something that she could do in her time. So it's a magnet. And then this is just like a tip-in, as you see, Amity Bloom, Nazi Do. And then beneath it we have Here Lies Beetlejuice, and then I just made the little gravestone flip down, and then I put in some of those little spiders that Dolly had set. So it's kind of like he's got spiders in his grave. And then you just close that up, and then you put the tip-in back down, and the magnet is what holds the grave closed so the spiders don't fall out. Another napkin. And these are stamped with little owls here, but you probably can't see that. Here's their house. Another bag from JUNKTHATTREASURES. And this is some vellum. I love it. And I got the paper on the opposite side from Kim. And it's a pocket, so it's delicate. So when she puts something in, just be careful, Priscilla. So, and then I got some ribbon from Dolly. And so it's a belly band, so she can slide something through there. And then here, I just typed out Beetlejuice, Bio Exorcist. Some paper from Tsunami Rose. This is a Witch's Brew, I believe. And this is also from Tsunami Rose. Envelope with the stationery. And then Rita cut out the little doily for me. Kim gave me this bling. And Rose die cut from Rita. A lot of my friends contributed to this book. This is my art, and it is dangerous. And that's something that Delia says when she got trapped by her art. So here's the other side of that page, and then on this one I put a tag in, again, inspired by my buddies, and it says troubled by the living, and then it's just sewed on the back. But I had to make that one like kind of flat so that it would go in here without getting caught on anything. the other piece of the bag. Another poem. No, this one is actually etiquette for a funeral. Here, you can't see it. I have to hold the book, I think. But I tried to make a sandworm pop-up. And the book is so full, so it hardly pops up, but that's what it is. It's a sandworm pop-up. And I put it on the page with the sand. So, thought that was kind of neat. And it was interesting to make also. There's some more die cuts there. I used my little black and white paper clip. And then I have a little glassine bag from JUNKTHATTREASURES, and inside of it, I don't know if you can see, but there's just some more eyeballs and bugs that I got from Dolly. Little tag. And that's the end of the second signature. And then again with the music notes in the center. Third signature, I have Beetlejuice on the front because the third time that you say Beetlejuice, it's showtime. And I got those little, these were perfect. I got them from Renee. She sent me a rack before, and I had these little letter stickers in there that she gave me. So thanks, Renee. And then she can journal in the back. And then in the movie, after he says, or when he says it's showtime, it's this picture. It's this moment in the movie when he says it's showtime. And then just put some fabric here with a button. And then here I have a little clock because when people go into the sandworm land, they're there for a long time, but to them it doesn't feel like a long time. I got this little tag from Dolly. It says ghostly greetings, and then it has a little key that she sent me also, and then I just added some eyelash trim. But I added the key to that and ghostly greetings because it reminds me in the movie when Lydia is trying to get the key to the attic to go find the ghost that she's been seeing. And then Dolly also gave me this little bat paper clip. And then here I have some beautiful black lace, and underneath it is my spirit animal, Lydia. And it says, my whole life is a dark room. One big dark room. We all know Lydia's quotes, I think. Another napkin there. Some more of those letters from Renee. It says, Deo. And then this is a pocket back here, but I didn't put anything in there. So she can tuck something behind there, and this is actually the dinner where the zebra napkins come from. And then it flips up and she can just add some things in here if she wants. I got this from Kim, also really pretty embossed paper. Here it says, I'm the ghost with the most, babe. And the third potucelope version, 2.0. And then I put the Destiny music paper in because it made me feel like Beetlejuice thought when he was going to marry Lydia, he thought that was his destiny. Also, with the potucelopes, like I said, in the I left them in pockets, which she can leave, but she can also adhere them down to a page and then let them be a tuck spot like that, and then they'll still function as they're supposed to. But you can see that in the video. Mind frame. So here I had this little torn flower, and I wanted to add it anyway because I don't know, it still deserved to be in here. And then I have a little garment pin that I got from JUNKTHATTREASURES, and then I have tiny little keys here, kind of like the keys that Lydia had when she was going into the attic. And then I also have included a tiny tag. The running joke on my channel. And then I put life is a circus because of that scene when he basically turns into a one-man carnival. Some more Tsunami Rose here. And the other file folder, this one says Adam on it, and picture of Barbara and a beetle. Little Hermelinda tag here. Oh, and I put a zebra flower because, you know, I've been adding zebra in here, but I also was like, I want to put a Brad in here, and I pulled out the snowflake, and I was like, no, I don't want to put a snowflake, and then I was like, well, actually, maybe that would be okay because at this dinner where the zebra napkins were, the friend tells Delia that she's a flake and she's always been a flake. So I thought that was kind of neat. And I actually got that from Kim too. Another poem back there. That poem is about resurrection, I think. In this little piece, it says, the best in eternal rest. Because, you know, Beetlejuice says he's the ghost with the most. And then I have this little fence down here. And Dolly was like, yeah, you should use that because of the model houses, blah, blah. So I was like, cool, that's a good idea. And so I just have these two little tags tucked in there along with this. And this is probably another one of my favorite little pieces. But, so I have some velvet up here that I just ruched up and then rose paper. And then I had some fabric left over from Harley Davidson. So I made a little book and it's called The Incantation. And inside of it, I layered on some more of that scarf from Rita. So that's what's on the front and back. And then I have gilded sort of raggedly the edges of the paper so they're gold. And with the gold gel pen on the black pages, I have written out the entire incantation that Otho says from, it's an excerpt from the Handbook of the Recently Deceased. And it's what actually causes them to, this is what's happening when he's reading that incantation. So I love this little booklet and I would read the whole thing, but this video is getting kind of long already. So I wanted this page to look kind of like, exactly kind of like Lydia looked in her wedding dress. She was wearing like all red and she had a red bouquet of roses and so some tulle, and then I have a little flower there and some red lace. And then here I used a Tim Holtz measuring again because of 6 foot, 7 foot. And then I have the number 4 down here and then this long number, because I don't know if you remember in the movie when he steals that guy with the tiny head, he steals, this is Beetlejuice's number in line, and this was the guy, his number, and the number that was on the board was 3, so he swapped their numbers. So I put those in. Another little tag in here. So here I have this little page with Miss Argentina, and she's there with her little slit wrist, and then I backed her with some more of that green vellum because she's all green, and it says, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accident. And that's what she says in the movie. And then on the back, of course, we have Lydia happy and dancing because she gets to chill with the Maitlands now, and she got an A on her test. Here's my stamp. It's in gold, so you can hardly see it. So I might redo it with some paper under it so she can actually see it a little better. And that's it. That's the end of the book. I hope she likes this, and I don't know. I had a great time doing this because it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I love Tim Burton. And yeah, so I know this video is getting really long, so I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle. So thanks guys for being here, for watching. Comments, let me know what you think. And until next time, toodaloo.